Morning.
Good morning.
You all right?
How are you?
Yeah, good.
I'm scared. No trades overnight.
Well, mine triggered.
Oh, did they? A
Yeah, I've set the timer a little bit
little bit later.
later. Yeah, the Swiss yen triggered,
I saw that one. Yeah.
but I got out
Okay. Yeah.
even. Yeah, just now. I mean, there was a doji, an engulfing candle,
Mm-hmm.
massive engulfing. So it goes going sideways at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. This one over here triggered. So really wanted it to be this little move. The Euro New Zealand. No, not Euro. Only the best one would have been US yen. But
It looks like cup handle or even silent short, right? Just has a different shape. That one you can see what that's very
from the 20 would have been good. I considered the 20 given how strong everything was. It went the 40, but then it just never quite got down here. Needed another few more pips. Should maybe the 30 would have been alright. Actually, yeah. I was a little bit concerned about these long wicks, so I wanted it to go into there. But I guess ideal would have been inside of this liquidity candle, wouldn't it? This wick. Oops. Yeah, that would have been a good one actually. So then that would have got the 40. Oh well. Yeah. 8-4 enabled. Okay, so that this little squiggly lines here. What this means is that it's only going to. Oh wait, where's my screen? Oh, my screen fell off. So see this number 3 row. This is with the H4 EMAs. So just making sure that we've got a fast and a slow in the same order as the 30-minute. So if we want to go in the same direction as the 4-hour trend, based on just using those EMAs, then we're going to have this yellow activated. If you want to take a counter trend to the 4-hour, just got to turn that off, and then it won't be looking at the 4-hour EMAs. So you can have it on or I can have it off. But generally, like, if you're going with the trend, I'd keep it on just to make sure you don't get stuck. But if you're going to go counter trend, then just turn it off, because you can get those short-term pullbacks, Cool. Alrighty. So is that what you meant? I'm assuming that's what you meant. Can you play again the EMAs, please? Which one by one, to see which one is which in what time frame? You mean on these on the 30-minute? 30 minutes just these are not certain EMAs on different time frames. You can add them if you like to. Like if you want to add the 20 EMA on a 4-hour chart would be what the 160 EMA on the 30-minute chart. All these ones here, all the EMAs are on the 30-minute chart is just for you to look at your eyes to look at levels you want to the robot to take a trade from. So ideally, I'm not actually saying any EMA in particular is going to work better than another, because it doesn't work like that. But like, say that if I want to see a reaction from around this area, and I wanted to see, like, say a reaction from like this area down here, then I would just make an EMA fit around that area that I want to trade from. So like say for example, I'm not sure which one it was that I was looking at, but say on say for pound Swiss, why I was choosing the 100 EMA in this one, because I was looking at this Asian area, this Asian range, and I see that this is accumulation. Let's get my pen. I see this is accumulation. So which EMA is inside this zone? That if price did push up to it, which one would I be looking to take a trade from? That's why I selected the 100 in this case. It's not the EMAs don't really matter too much. It's just a level on the chart that I'm looking to trade from. So for Aussie JPY, that's the one I started with. This one, I was looking at taking a trade from around more or less this area. So that was why I was like, well, the 20 at the time I was doing this, the 20 is a little bit high, and the 40, like I was a little bit concerned about these wicks, so I selected the 40 in this case to see if price would push down to the 40 and then respond. Yeah. Now the 4-hour chart, the 4-hour EMAs. This button here is just so that I know I'm trading in front of the trend. If I want to go counter trend, I'll just turn it off, and then once I can go for like say sells, but it's not only going to take a sell once the blue and the red are going to cross. Then it would take the first sell opportunity, and that's going to be counter trend to the 4 hours. Yeah. Alrighty, so turn it off. Let's have a look at. You're welcome. Let's have a little look at German 40. So we did get a bit of a sell-off yesterday. Only not much of a movement, but we closed like a little indecision bearish doji. 4-hour chart. We've got price sort of coming down. I'm really suspicious about this area now. I've only highlighted it very faintly, but you can see like this gray section I feel is structure. Okay. Now, once we can close inside of structure, we can go to the bottom of structure. So we just need to crack into this and close inside of this like 16,200 area. And then I think it makes sense for us to be able to push down to like say 16,120. Maybe not in a one candle, but eventually, something like that. Now, drop down to, let's stay on the 4 hour for a minute here. We've got a nice clean candle to the left. We've just got to fight this little neckline resistance, which is support right now. We've got a doji here from yesterday. This might cause a little bit of a bump here, or we can just break pretty quickly, depending on how much volume is going to be in this session. Speaking of session, let's have a look at Forex Factory. And we've got news. A15. We've got German and French PMI. So yeah, that's a bit shitty. Then we've got pound as well later on. Well, it's going to be interesting. So we've had a little bit of a sell-off already. So the 2 hours chart, just sort of making this bearish candles. No top wick on this one. So let's just mark that up. Open or no wick. Means I like candles that start with a wick, because usually when it starts with a wick, it's like grabbing some fuel. If it hasn't started with a wick, then I think we can easily just wick back above it. Looking at the 1 hour chart, we've got a couple of these little candles now. So there's this one. We had this like little bout of momentum pre-Euro, pre-Frankfurt Open. So that's bit of a like an empty space that it might be able to push back up and just collect again. And we've got a couple of dojis and things, so whoops. All right, got the 50% of Asian marked up already here around the 16,240 handle. Look at the range that we typically like. Look at the average volatility. So this day today might be a little bit more different, but London session 92 pips, 57 pips. Let me just type these in. Okay, price range. Just to give an idea of volatility to expect. Oh, come on, man. Mouse playing silly buggers with me. Huge day. That's not a normal day. Okay, so you get the idea. Oh, you're in sales. Yeah, good luck. All right, so see here. We've got 111 pips, 93 pips, 58 pips, 106, 116, 217, 83, 60. So we're looking at somewhere between 50, let's just call it 60. This is the outlier for sure. So somewhere between 60 and 110 on average. So where can that push us? Where could, when we open, where could that London open volume take us to? So 110 would take us to, well, 4 minutes before the open. So say we open somewhere around here, 110 would push us to the bottom of this range. That makes sense to me. We can do a little liquidity grab first, maybe pick up a little bit of this liquidity, and then push down from there. So that would be something like that. So maybe this is what I'm sort of forecasting and visualizing, that this would be the London session for German. Could do whatever it wants with this news. Could do nothing, or it can move a lot more. So it could push down, pull up, and then push down. Doesn't have to be a steady move. We know it's not a steady move. But often what we do get in the very first few minutes is we get like a one-to-one move. We get equal volume. So this is the open hour of German 40. And with the opening volume from London in the first like 30 minutes, we can often do the same size candle as this. Sometimes the shitty days are when it goes down, up, like that. And it's just a sideways candle like this, kind of like this. Or can we get a equal one-to-one move up or down from this? So that would look like that's one-to-one either side. So I don't really want to take a sell directly. I'd rather it push up and do a little bit of a fake out around this area, because I am bearish overall with it. After hitting the all-time high, I feel that there's space down here to collect, especially if this hour candle can close in this very faint gray area, because then to me that structure that's breaking in two. We've had multiple rejections of this level. And now we're finally closing inside of it. So why are we closing inside of it? Especially when we've got news, we've got to tread carefully, but we've got a bit more chatter about interest rates going up. So that's a bearish headwind to stocks. And after hitting the all-time high, which was a fantastic week last week, I think now this is the week that we could correct some of that move. Maybe today's the day. So we've got 40 seconds. 40 seconds for this to play out before the open. So let's see. Let's go down to the 30 minute. Okay. Creating a resistance, breaking the support with the opening volume. Makes sense to keep on pushing down. Just adjust this as it goes down in the last couple of seconds. Could just be a clean shot down. I don't really want to take a clean shot down. If I was going to do a clean shot down, it's only to about the 16, 160. We know the characteristics of German 40 is push down, retrace, push down again, or vice versa. Yeah, come on, stop making me. Here we go. All right, so this is the open now. Go all chart view. So is this going to do a big push to start with? So bottom left is going to be 15 minute. Top left is the 3 minute generally. 5 minute top right. 1 minute bottom right. So let's just watch this. Might be a little bit like the liquidity grab in this candle. Do you want to be, we want this volume just to push. We don't want it to stall. The longer it stalls, the harder it's going to be around, got about news in 15 minutes. Yeah, oh sorry, so 110, let's just say around 100 pips with a potential liquidity grab. So from top to bottom of liquidity grab, whether it's to the downside or the upside. Yeah, pound Aussie just corrected that full move. Little drop down, 50 pips and then corrected. Gold had a sell-off. A really nice sell-off. So fake news, fake news about explosion in Pentagon, and we adapted very quickly. Took a 50 pip push to the top side. Then it corrected the whole move, and then that move, the sell-off came late. So I'm not in anything. I'm waiting to see what this news does, and I'll trade the reaction to the news. So if there's momentum, we'll look for the wick fill. This little blue zone is just a sensitive like area that was support and resistance. More clear on the 30 minute, let me show you. Might have even been. Can leave on the 15, that's fine. So just this little area here. So where price was support, then resistance, and then we've got clean candles. So again, it's kind of like structure, this area. So I've got a few little zones across here. Are you short gold? Took profit. Japan 225 and German 40 and Frank 40. Gosh, you killed it. You're done for the day. Well, opening 5 minutes wasn't very strong, which is expected with the news. Moved about 7 pips from the lows. 14 pips if you got the pullback. So I'd like to sell in from around the 16,220. Okay, now hitting this blue area. This was just the necklines on the 15-minute and 30-minute to the left from yesterday. Not yesterday, sorry. Friday. It was Friday, wasn't it? Thursday last week. So it's just like the average area of the wicks. Because there is news, we might get overshoot. As in, like, if I'm looking to take a sell roughly from around these areas to correct some of this move, I might push up like that and then start to form that resistance. Wait for our setup. If we get the right confirmations up here, then we'll break the support and then we can sell off. Confirmations is wicks being left behind. Like, I'll draw it properly. Because if we're getting wicks being filled from the bottom end, then the momentum's filling them. If we're getting wicks left behind above, then the momentum's to the downside. So you look for supports to break. See if there's any chatter. So financial juice. Just looking to see if there's any comments. Anyone speaking? Any red things that stand out? So this Kashkari guy seemed to have just been speaking all day yesterday. Because there were still comments I was seeing at like 10 o'clock last night. I'll find it. Speaker McCarthy. So we've still got all this debt ceiling is going to be the theme for this week. Here we go, Kashkari. More comments, 11 o'clock. On a mission to reduce inflation, no way the Fed can protect the economy from the negative effects of default. Oh, that's talking about debt ceiling. It's all drama. It's just drama. It won't happen. But yeah, this Kashkari guy seemed to have worked overtime yesterday. Alright, so nothing really. Nothing really. These things are pretty decent to read. These market wraps. So I recommend you get into a habit of sort of having a bit of a read with them. No, mine all timed out before they triggered. They all would have expired. I left US yen just to run a little bit longer. That was the one I liked the best. But all the other ones were set to time out around 4:35 in the morning. Oh, I see. Yeah, I always set the timer. Yeah, otherwise I would have triggered. So gold's having a bit more of a sell-off. I don't like the range that gold gives in the London session. Like normally it's like, look at them. Look how choppy it is. We've had one good day. Yesterday wasn't too bad. But we've generally just been in a 50 pip range during the London Open. I think there was one other good day yesterday, last week. This one over here. This one's not too bad, but generally it's been very crappy. So I like to be focusing on German. But maybe I should have focused on gold today, given this news in 4 minutes. But we'll see. We'll see. I'd like to see this liquidity grabs and then sell off, especially if this data. What do we think? 3 minutes 50. Forecasting bad numbers under 50. Under 50 is contractionary, but we've got manufacturing, contractionary, services, expansionary. So what we might get if we're getting mixed numbers, then we can get range. Then I'd pretty much just sell from the top, buy from the bottom. But I'll be leaning to the sells only. Just got my bigger view for this week. If we get mixed numbers, that's a real pain. That's really, really shitty. Because then it could just be range, and it could have us here like the 19th of last month, which is the last time all this came out. Sarah's birthday. Like this. This is what I do not want. This is the worst outcome. To get stuck trading in something like this, when we think news should bring volatility, and we get stuck in just crappy range. Okay, what about the bank rates? Remember yesterday what they were? %14 today. So they closed at the last night higher, but when we were looking about 24 hours ago, it was around 24%. So they're really thinking that this is for US Fed rates, not the ECB, that they're really thinking that now with more data coming out, that they are likely to hold. It doesn't mean that they're not going to hike at the next one, but maybe this one they are going to pause and hold. So the chances have decreased. So that should be bullish for stocks. Should be bullish for stocks. For US stocks. Oh man, gold just taking a dump. Completely filled this clean range. All right. So 30 seconds now. Let's see what this is going to do. Right back, basically where we started. Yeah, that's good gold for you, for sure. So we can see how the wicks are important, how this little blue zone to the pip. All right, 12 seconds. So can we do a liquidity grab and take out this whole area, take out the Asian high, and then continue back down? Maybe it's looking like a liquidity grab in this 1 minute candle, just going down. All right, so what was the numbers? So 46, that's as expected. And 52, so worse numbers. So this is, yeah, this should be bearish for stocks so far. See what the German ones are going to do, but this should be bearish for German. Come on, man. I'll just do it that way. Works well. Okay, so yes, good. We just, if it's good or bad, I don't mind. I just want one-sided. I don't want mixed. So manufacturing, a little bit better than last month, but it was pretty much as expected. So that's priced in then. The services, worse outcome. So whilst last week and even yesterday we saw France 40 was killing it, you know. France 40 has been killing it lately. So this was start of the month. Okay, so don't let the time frame get us confused. This is last week, Wednesday last week, just crushed it for French stocks. Can't recall. I don't think it was it wasn't all-time high last week, but we had a very good end to the week for French stocks. Now it's showing that the demand in the manufacturing wasn't as good as expected. Now for German, where German was a big performer last week, hit a new all-time high. Now we've got 13 minutes to wait. See that nothing's really happening, still just consolidating, doing liquidity grabs, holding us here in this crappy range. We need to see if German news, is it going to be mixed or overall bearish? If we've got like, we've had one even, one down. If the next one can give us another down and maybe one up, then net result should be more bearish. So then what we should do is look for price action to push down. I think that'll be a sound idea. If we get one very good and one like just under mix, just a near miss, then it's going to be the net result could be trash. So we'll see. Still too early to risk money on this. Remember, not every day is a trading day as well. So we need to identify the days that maybe we shouldn't be jumping into anything. Because I bet most of your month, I'd say the bulk of the profit would come from just a few days of the month. So if we can try to eliminate some of those other bad days, then overall should be positive. Because most people can take a good trade. It's just not consistent. There's a lot of other bad trades scattered in there, or just trades that were like little rushes of blood, impulsive trades, not planned trades. Okay, so we're starting to get some comments coming through as well from the ECB. Indices. So he's like coming to calm everything down. Oh, what's happening with silver? So I was listening to these other guys, and because I know there's a, what is the silver to gold ratio traditionally was like 25-1, and right now it's about 80-1. Is that right? He was telling me about this. Anyway, what I was listening to was these guys, and they're talking about historical. These hedge fund guys, and what they were looking at is actually the ratio between copper and gold. I was saying that was usually a very, very good indicator. Yeah, silver fell off a cliff. It's just these numbers, they seem so low when you're used to looking at something that's like nearly 2,000. Microsoft is going well. I think all this is ChatGPT and Bing profits. It's been on a heck of a bull run. Yeah, I saw that using ChatGPT. I tried it to write some code. Actually, pretty good. Like to get there was, not that I understand it, but it actually got some little things working and gave like a little bit of a framework. Yeah, what a nice push. I think this is where the money is right now. Because who would want to be trading German stocks when you've got this news? So this is why I think we're getting a decent push on gold. Nice sell-off. So we are getting a bit of movement here. Because they're already expecting bad numbers for news, or bad manufacturing, services aren't too bad. But because they're already expecting bad numbers, maybe if the numbers aren't as bad as they're expecting, it can lead to a bit more of liquidity grab. Still overall, I think it makes sense to sell. It's just like from me, like before I'd even understood news whatsoever, what I'd look at would be this gray area. Okay, remember I've done webinars on this. That this gray area, once we close inside of it, like this hour candle, once we close inside of it, opens the door to push down to the bottom. But it doesn't usually come in a clean candle. Often we get this pullback. So it's very important can't get married to your bias. We do need to adapt sometimes. Last week was a good example of times that we probably should have adapted. But it's very, very important to hold on to your bias. And candles like this is just meant to get you to flip your bias. You know, people that respond too easily to just a single candle without looking at the other bigger picture will constantly just be buying the highs and selling the lows. So 4 more minutes. So let's have a look. We do have a couple of rejections from this area, which makes sense. This area was predetermined. We've got a resistance that once we do have this liquidity grabs, usually it will break a resistance. This was the resistance. Now, is it enough to break the next resistances? If I start to see rejections from this area, I'll give it a shot for ourselves. Just want to wait to see what this news is, because if this news is bad, equal to bad, then I really think this idea could play out well. But there's nothing's guaranteed. So if it's not looking good, it's important to have the ability just to get out. So gold's still pushing down. Holy. So nice, man. Beautiful opening 30 minutes. Okay, so we're back to the low of Asian low. So this was, remember this was the Euro open from this candle. As in the actual official Frankfurt open. So a faded out Frankfurt open hour. Now can we take the high of Frankfurt open? "90 seconds till the news." Let's let it take out some of these imbalances, which were this one, this one. Hopefully it doesn't just drop from here. I don't want to consider sell stops. Let's see what the first minute does. Sometimes it's this minute just before the news, because we don't, you know, I'm sure they get the news earlier than we do. It's just stuck right now. It's not moving. So 10 seconds. Sometimes this is a little bit funny. Like, sometimes it starts 1 or 2 seconds before. Oh, a gap down. All right, so took the low of this candle. No wick. This is what I'm kind of expecting up here for these ones. And then we can look to take that sell. And then from this area, I'll be looking for that potential 60 to 100 pip move. So even if it's a 60 pip move, which is the lower end, would put it to around here. 40 pips would put it down towards the bottom of that range. So the news was bad and mixed news, damn it. It's a bit shit. So worse than expected, quite bad actually. And then better than expected for services. So maybe we'll get the 60, maybe it'll be more of a 60 pip move, not a 80 pip move or 100 pip move. But now the news is out, we do have more in 30 minutes, but let's see if we can get this move. Mixed news was the worst outcome. See how it's like, you know, a couple red, one green, one even. But the green one was quite good. But now the sell-off can happen. But I don't want this to be a repeat of the 19th. So I'm not taking breakouts. Had a little doji that it took. Showing a bit of rejection from here. So that would, I'm sure that would have triggered people. That's a trap. But I'm looking for like fake outs. So I just don't want to take fake out longs, because overall I'm a bit more, I think there's more room to go down, given that we're in this faint gray area. Now this is, you know, I'll get rid of this news now. Let's go just see if there's anything new that's coming to the table. So a bit more. Okay, so we've got it was just explaining what the news was. So I think we can move that away right now. Gold's having a bit of a breather as well. Pound did that full recovery. I thought about buying pound Aussie. A bearish divergence on the 5. Let's have a look. Oops. Go gold. Let's go to all chart view. Because this looks like crap to me. Really not interested until it's up in my sell zone. Volume's gone till 9 AM. Potentially, yeah. Potentially. I'm still, because part of my job is to do my time at the chart and take the opportunity that I see. So the volume can come before. It's just when they've got this news, it does make things a bit tricky, especially when it's mixed. Did anyone take fake out buys? Kind of like just anticipating this crappy range? Considered it, but it's against the direction I want to go in. But that's what I was saying, like taking breakouts in this, no way. Haven't taken the bottom of this doji yet as well on the 15 minute. So that's definitely going to be a target for later. And if we can get into the sell zone, then that's, you know, that's a good little target. Oh, you took the, but I guess you've seen it enough that you know the probability. So you are happy to go with that 1-to-1, aren't you? And then just knowing that it's not going to work every day. Rob's buys to sell as well, yeah. So I think it will give like a little bit of a clue for a sell here. Like breaking the low, that could be a trigger. But I think this is a bad one. A bad trigger. Just 15 minute, yeah. So it's just ranging. I really hope it does move in the next how much long I've got? I've got about 35 minutes. $35 minutes to salvage something. Yeah, orange folding news in 21 minutes. got GB news. So no Asian trades, no robot trades for New Zealand pairs tonight. Obviously, because we've got bank rates. I'll look for other pairs though, but no, maybe not Aussie or New Zealand. Okay. Come on, push up out of this area. I'll have a little look at some of these. So current momentum, JPY is finding the most strength, which is good because this could just be pullbacks. So let's look at something like US yen. Even this one actually. Let's have a look at Aussie yen. So Aussie yen, we did fill this wick. Oh, we reacted to the monthly level. Did we create a new high though? Tricky because we retested the high. So this made the new high. Then we had first structure, and then we had second structure. And then we came back down, formed that support, and we're able to retest this high. So this is your triangle. Remember the triangle is often like this. So it came down, up, down, up. So doesn't really need to do anything from here. Could do what it wants. We've got clean candles coming down though. So I think even with Asian session, if I see we continue down a little bit and then we see a bullish candle and then the EMAs are starting to flip again, then I think this could be a opportunity for a to take the momentum back up. To fill these clean candles. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. But let's look at US yen. US yen, yeah, see this one here, we made a fresh high this morning. Fresh high. So 8 out of 10 chance we're going to retest this high, or at least this area. We just need to see price come down. Is this the low before we can push up? I think we could probably have another little dig and then push up. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see what they look like on the EMAs would be maybe something like this. Okay, so then as these are getting closer, starting to separate again, maybe price will close above it. And then you can get something like that. 30 pips. So if something that happens like that in a few hours, I might set for New York session. We do have a bit of news, but New York session, I might look for momentum longs. Oh, that's where you got join up as well, Danny. Perfect. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for USD to keep on gaining strength, especially if they have news that debt ceiling. Well, if debt ceiling deadlock breaking news comes out, then it's just going to be one fast candle. Other than that, USD and yen are the strongest. Aussie, New Zealand are the weakest. Swiss is third weakest. So nothing is really, everything's sort of mixed bag right now, which makes a lot of sense because we've had some of these trends had been like 6 days in a row. So it makes sense to have a bit of a correction. Just remember, when you're on current day, this will change regularly. But look at like how high some of these numbers were. New Zealand yen, 6 days bullish. So Kiwi due for a pullback. After a sustained run up, due for a bit of a correction. Plenty of monthly levels down here. So didn't make a fresh high. If we made a fresh high, it might have been easier. Create support, retest that high. Kiwi yen, though, it did. So if you don't want to take the US yen, or the Aussie yen doesn't look as nice as the Kiwi yen. So maybe coming back down to this Asian session. Just look for a bit of a support to be formed to retest this high. Or at least retest partially high of the high. So plenty to keep an eye on for later on. One I do like is the Euro New Zealand. This made a lot of sense to why I had that little... Oh, Sarah, did this one trigger for you? This one would have triggered for me, but I had the cutoff. So we're at, on the 4 hour. Yeah, so this is... You got to make sure you're really paying attention to the videos that I'm putting out. Because on a price action, this wick, this doji, you don't want to trade on the rebound from the bottom of the doji. Because that rebound can be strong. Because we are in a range and we've got plenty of doji wicks to the top side. So this one was, I'm happy to trade down to this level, but not off of this level. So for this Asian session, that's exactly what I wanted to take advantage of, was to trade to this doji, and price was about here. So I was happy for a pullback sell, but not a drop and then bounce. I did not want to be trading after this level had hit. Yeah, it was short, exactly, yeah. But I wanted to trade down to that level. So I was looking for pullback sells. Just watch the video again. I thought I was pretty clear with it. So when I was looking at it, I was looking for sells. And remember, I clicked this button and it put this cutoff level. And I put that cutoff level at the lows here. So I said, as soon as it touches this low, the trade idea is dead. If you're not in the trade going down to this level, you can be in the trade going down to this level, but once you hit this level, there's no sells anymore because you're at the end of the range. Yeah. Go back and watch it again. That's all practice right now. But that was why. That's why you've got this thing here, is to really to say, I'm happy to trade down to support, but you cannot trade off of support. You can't take a short off of support. You can take a trade down to support because the support is a magnet. You know, this is really going to attract price. But once you've actually hit it, price is equalized. Taking it back off of support is dangerous. Yeah, it's like as if it was a TP. Exactly. Good point, Ivan. Yeah. Euro Kiwi was the one that I thought this is very good chance of working if it triggered you in this first little pullback. Then US yen, this is the other one that I thought very good chance of working, but it just didn't pull back. 5 pips from entry. I should have changed this. I should have chosen like a 30 and popped it in there, given this wick. Remember, we can change it. So at the moment, the purple is looking at the 40. You change it here on the 30, and now it will look at the 30. Just make sure you click the button to lock it in. But that would have been the best outcome from the 30. All right, let's have a look. German is starting to creep up again, so this is good. Let's see. Yeah, you've been taking advantage of the sells, haven't you, for the last week for New Zealand. Okay. Gold is having a breather still. US 30 is selling off. UK 100 still in this range. Just broke the high a little bit, then broke the took the New York low. All right, looking a bit better now. Oh, sorry, that's that one. Okay, just being patient, waiting for it to come to my level, because this is going to be very tempting for people to get caught in at this area, especially this high. This is the open of Frankfurt. The one thing though is the 30-minute now started to close quite nice for longs. So if that's the case, I definitely don't want to be getting into longs too early here, because 2 candles like this means generally resistance, the next resistance will break, which is this candle here. This is the resistance candle. So I dare say it is going to be, that news later on for pound, which is going to help dictate where this goes. And that's going to be getting, time for this to push up and then set up. It's going to be a late move. See if these odds have changed. Nope. Okay, we've got some news. So forecasting 3 rate hikes, June, July, and September. So that's, what do you think that's going to mean? If this news digests, what do you think this is going to mean? Which direction? Yeah. Sell off. Bearish indices. So let's just let that news take effect. People might jump in for that news. And let's see if it does the manipulation first, then sell off. At the moment, this might be an entry with that news, actually. So 10 seconds. And this is a bit of a reject. These are some wicks, rejection wicks potentially. So I don't think I want to take a sell just yet. But that is potentially price action setting up. 5 minutes not as clean. Kind of feel like I'm going to force a trade because I know I'm running out of time for my trading session. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel like I'm forcing it. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. There's a sweep coming. Been building up so much pressure in here. Needs to be a release. So I'm still looking around that 16,240. Yeah, yeah. This cleared the board. Grabbed all this liquidity from under here. 15 minutes looking really good. Sorry, 30 minutes looking really good. 15 as well. Yeah. Got liquidity left behind. These areas up here look good. Yeah, he's flying. Aussie's selling off. Yeah. This is because of that news. So higher interest rates, good for euro. Okay, so not quite an equal high. Very close, but 0.2 away from being an equal high. Look at these necklines. Yeah, ideally. Definitely. I agree. So because it's so like the volume's so low, so we kind of need to use these higher time frames to gauge where we're at. gonna set an, I've got news now in 36 seconds. Okay, so this is the next Eurozone one. Let's see what this one does. Okay, let's see if we can get a one-sided, or is it going to be good and bad again? Okay, so bad numbers, good numbers. Oh my god. Bad and good. Same thing. Manufacturing's declining, services are increasing. Same as German. All right. Well, I'm not gonna just watch paint dry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set an alert at this level. Multiple levels. These are going to be my potential sell zones with price action. And if it does something like this, then potentially this will be another sell zone. Just remember that this would need to be like that. This one here would need to be the same thing. So this is option A, option B, option C. Look into target. Ideally, I'd like to see 16,120. But if I'm getting the trade from here, I'd even just be happy with retesting these lows. So like 40 pips from option C, 80 pips from option B. And maybe it's just this first opening hour, because of all this news, maybe it's going to be the 9 o'clock candle, which will give it. Okay, so these are the ideas. Okay, so I've got my alert set. So we'll see. Good, good discipline. Held. Didn't take. Did my time. Didn't get lured into anything. Held my bias. Waited for the price action. Observed the news. Got mixed news, mixed results. So learnt lessons from the 19th. Alrighty. Well, let's see what happens. And then I will be back for New York about 2 o'clock my time. So half an hour before NYSE. Alrighty. So thanks everyone for watching. Good luck. Trade safe. Don't over risk. Don't get stuck in this shitty range. Not every day is going to be a trading day. So it's good just to make sure you stick with your times for trading. You know, let trading work for you. It's very easy to sit here all day. All right, with that, I'm going to